Ciao, I'm Maribel from Taste of Italy and welcome to my kitchen. Today I want to show you how to make Passatelli soup, which is an incredibly delicious comfort food from the region of Emilia-Romagna. Enjoy the video. So let's make Passatelli. You'll need these ingredients: plain breadcrumbs, Parmigiano Reggiano, 2 whole eggs, nutmeg, softened butter, and broth. Your favorite, beef, chicken, vegetable, or a combination. Add only 3/4 of the breadcrumbs. I'll explain why later. Then we add all of the Parmigiano Reggiano. We add nutmeg. I prefer to use fresh. I find that the flavor is that much better. Yep, we add quite a bit. Then we break in 2 eggs. I like to do it with a fork because there's less of a mess. Actually, those aren't my hands, those are my husband's. I'm filming. A little bit of softened butter, although this one isn't particularly soft. And mix well. I like to begin with the fork to limit the mess. At a certain point, we have to get our hands in there. Make sure your hands are clean. That should be pretty obvious. And we're going to mix it up, make sure that everything is well blended. This is still pretty sticky, and you should know that the amount of breadcrumbs that we actually need will depend largely on the size of the eggs that we're using. So small eggs, we use less breadcrumbs. Large eggs, we use more breadcrumbs. So we are going full-on grandma style, which is going by feel. We add the breadcrumbs, we blend them in right, we feel our dough, we see if it's sticky, not sticky, and we add small amounts of breadcrumbs accordingly. And remember to blend thoroughly before adding any more breadcrumbs. The dough needs to feel firm but not sticky, and the only way to do this is by adding breadcrumbs a little bit at a time. If you'd like to know more about Passatelli and the story behind it, please be sure to check out my website where you'll find the story, the history of the Passatelli. And please don't forget to subscribe and like this video. This helps the algorithm know that there's value in the video and it shows it to more people. So thank you. Thank you if you've already done that. I really appreciate it. So this dough looks like it's ready. It's firm, yet not sticky. It's just slightly tacky. Just barely enough moisture. It needs to be pretty firm. Otherwise, it'll break up in the broth. Okay, now we're going to cover it and let it rest for about 30 minutes at room temperature. Some people like to keep it in a little bit longer, and that's up to you. So let's talk about tools. There is a traditional tool which is much easier to use than what modern day cooks use. So in order to make passatelli, you're going to need this tool. Okay, you're going to need a ricer, and the ricer looks like this. This is an old one from my mother-in-law, who gifted it to me. Okay, and it works like this. You're going to put your item in there, and then you're going to close it. To clean it, you could scrape off what you have on the inside, and then later you could either let it dry out, and then you can poke holes, any stuff that's in there will come right off, or you soak it in water. Let's cook the passatelli now. Okay, so here's a ricer. You want to place it over the broth, and I don't suggest adding the whole thing in there because it won't fit. So let's go back and cut it in half. We'll put about half of the dough in the ricer. The reason I like the ricer is that the strands are a lot longer, so I know it's prettier. And you're going to press down pretty hard. The ricer is harder to use, so you do need a certain strength. The traditional tool is easier to use, especially if you don't have a lot of strength. Then you use a knife to cut the strands directly into the simmering broth. And then you put the other half in. You could also scrape off the bits that are on the ricer and include them clearly. You press that down, have all of that beautiful goodness come up. And since these are fresh, they need about 2 minutes to cook, okay? Then we're going to give it a good stir, and then that's all you have to do. You ladle them into a dish and serve. No cheese is necessary since there's a lot of Parmigiano Reggiano inside the strands. Buon appetito! Thanks for watching, and for more yummy videos, don't forget to subscribe. Let me know if you make these, and if you have any problems, I'd be happy to answer your questions in the comment section below. Ciao!